Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Monday Night's Paranormal Question of the Day. We'll be right back right after a short intro.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Paranormal Question of the Day. We do live podcasts with live guests, live paranormal investigations as well. We do product reviews, so sit back, enjoy the channel, get popcorn, get a soda, and I'll see you soon.
All right, welcome back, everybody. After a short intro there, hopefully you got your soda and popcorn, as I always like to say. And tonight we are joined with Jackie from Hoosier Paranormal, and thank you for coming to the show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I always like to get the other teams that usually aren't, in the mix too much with the media quite a bit,
Right.
and like to get them out there a little bit more, and people get to know you. From here on out, you might get other people that want to join you on your investigations.
Awesome.
So first question: who is Hoosier Paranormal?
So I am obviously, from the name, based out of Indiana. I started doing this about a little over a year ago. It was something that kind of was just fun to do, I guess you can say. And then I started kind of getting out there. I started with cemeteries and enjoyed doing that. And then I was like, well, I can go to these haunted locations too and meet people. And I started doing that, and it became so much more for me. And it's addicting. Obviously, it's fun. It's still fun to do, but it's just one of those things where I guess it kind of gives you hope, and you know what I mean, and curiosity and everything like that. So I progressed really quickly over a year's time.
Mhm.
So, yeah. But it's just
and
me.
yeah, it's just you. Like it's just me.
me.
And just. But sometimes that's good though. It's just you because you find out things a lot more when it is just you than a whole
Yes.
bunch of other people that can like interrupt your sessions, and you just
Right.
do things the way how you want to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So have you experienced any paranormal activity as a younger child? Just kind of like how did you really get
That's the
into it?
funny thing is, I mean, I talk to other paranormal investigators out there, and so many people experience things when they were a child, or could interact as a child with spirits and everything like that. And then I'm like, oh, I'm over here and I haven't. You know what I mean? Not saying that I didn't, because a lot of times those things they say with children and stuff like that, like you have things that happen, and as you get older you block it out of your mind because it's not normal. You know what I mean? So there is a possibility, but I'm one of them that's over here where I don't recall having anything. It was just one of
Yeah.
those things. Like I said, I was like just curious about it. And I mean, in my adult age, where I talk to investigators that are like, yeah, I've been doing this, for 20 years. I was real young and I was out, and I'm like, I haven't, you know what I mean? It was no, I can't remember anything that happened.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, I've had things happen when I was a child, but this is, you know, that's back then. And so when you started doing paranormal stuff, did you watch any of the shows to kind of get an idea how to run about your investigations, how you want to do things, kind of like like a step by step type deal? Or is it just more of, okay, let's try this and see what happens. Let's try this and see what happens. So sort of thing.
So that's another thing that you mentioned that's kind of funny, because when I get together with investigators, that's another thing they talk about. Oh, do you know who this, do you watch this show? Do you know this, that? No, I haven't. So, I never really got into the shows too much, maybe a little bit here or there or whatever. But what it really was, it was watching a lot of lives. It was something about seeing people in real life, you know what I mean, doing it at
Mm-hmm.
that moment and seeing what's happening. And so I kind of went with that, and then had another friend that was really interested in the paranormal as well. She doesn't live close to me, but was into it. So we would go and watch the lives together and then, chat on what's going on. And I just started to kind of see what was being done with that, and then just got my hands in there and started doing it. And I mean, you pick things up really quickly, and as long as you're really focused on it, you can pick up what works for you, I should say. But no, I
Mm-hmm.
never know with the shows either. So
In that aspect, though, but it's somewhat refreshing to hear that somebody doesn't watch the shows, and I like that you chose to watch Facebook Lives or TikTok Lives because you're mainly
yep,
TikTok, and that's a good thing because that's a lot of things that I really express a lot to people when getting into this is watch the Facebook Lives, learn
hmm
what they do, see what gear they take, make sure your budget is enough for your intake because this is a very big to do with gear and it that does cost a lot of money when you want to get into things.
yes, it does.
And then with location wise, it also helps you learn the locations. If you're like
Yes.
be here or you don't want to be in this location because I see how this location is, maybe I don't want to try it just yet.
hmm
And that's the thing. It's just starting off slow and doing it the way you did. I like that approach the way you did it because that's what I always preach. That's how I did it. Follow Facebook Lives, learn.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and
you
I
know,
mean, when you watch the shows, they have you believe, and I think a lot of people who do the paranormal know this, but who don't, what they don't see in the background is who's doing the shows. I mean, they're doing hours and hours and hours of it. Whereas if you're watching, the lives, you can see that there's a lot of times there's not, things going on. We know that that's what it's like. So it just
or
was better for me to do it that way.
yeah, and you see people pull pranks. I mean, every once in a while. I mean, it's yes, there's a time to be serious. Yes, there's a time to have fun. You know,
Yeah.
but in the same instance, though, you're all there for the same purpose of what you want to do and what you want to capture. And
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
makes it more fun to do that because I enjoy it that way.
Right.
Um, I, I go into lives, I joke around a little bit just to
hmm
kind of mellow out the system a little bit. And so that's what I like to do. And I think that's what works for me.
Well,
So,
right. And
hey,
then
Rob.
and you can connect with other. I mean, I've connected with so many different people that way too, that aren't in Indiana, that are all over the place, and be able to connect with them to where you might have not met them in real life, but they know who your name, like they know who you are, from
Yeah.
that way. And that's just, when I talk to somebody and they're like, who's your paranormal, like, to know that you know what I mean, that matters more than sitting there and watching something on TV where they're not going to know who I am.
Well,
It's
yeah.
about connections.
And that's just it. I mean, it's like I've got caught off guard that same way. Hey, Rob. Um, that I was at this old Baraboo Inn that I've been always trying to get to go to because people wanted me to get there. And I says, finally, I actually got there. And it's like, the owner's like, Shelly, she's like, hey, it's about time to get here. Been waiting for you to get here. And I was like, huh? You know who I am?
It's so nice though. It's so awesome to have that happen. When I come
It is.
into If I go into a live and they're like, Hoosier, how are you? And usually that's what people know me as. And it's just, it feels good, that's the
Hmm.
kind of thing that I want. That's the connection I want, not only with the spirits, but the paranormal community. Like that matters
Absolutely.
the most to me.
Yeah. Unity is somewhat still there. It all depends on what section you are, because sometimes it's a little bit more harder with Unity and stuff like that. But
Right.
it's still there. I like to
I
promote
preach
it a
it.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah. I preach it and hope, and then you just got to kind of to stick with the people who believe in the same thing.
absolutely. And sometimes you'll find it a really deep connection with that one person. It's like, hey, let's do this a lot together. We
Yeah.
got a good connection here. We can do a
Yeah.
lot of different things and it different results with locations, and that's what it's all about.
Yes.
Um, so have you been to any of the like paracons or anything like that? Just kind of look around, meet other people doing that, or is that something you kind of just stay away from and really not ready to go to those paracons?
So I actually, in the very beginning, before, gosh, I don't even know if I had my name at that point because I was going with another paranormal group. I have a paranormal group that really kind of got like I was able to get my feet wet with them. But I went
Hmm.
over to Pennsylvania, and there is a Paraunity Paracon by a paranormal group that does that. And
Hmm.
so I just kind of tagged along on that one. And that is literally the one and only one that I went to. And so that's actually where I kind of began to understand what Paraunity was about because they're very big on that.
Hmm.
But I didn't have my own table or anything like that. I just kind of hung out with like the people that I went there with. And I don't, to be honest, it was a year ago. I don't even know if I had actually had my name at that point. But since then, no, my organization with trying to keep up with paracons and investigations and all of life, that happens and everything like that, it just becomes too much, I guess. And I really I just I like getting myself out there and going to these haunted locations. So I really try to focus on that. But, and then meeting
Oh
people,
yeah.
like, I feel like Paracon, yes, you do get those connections with other creators and stuff like that. But I still feel in a sense it's kind of superficial compared to if you go with teams to a place and you can really connect with them.
Hmm.
So not yet, but
But
I do plan this next. I mean, like I said, I've just been doing this a year, so um, I think
take
now
your
that I've
time
kind
with
of,
it.
you're right, now that I've gotten that year in, now I'm going to kind of start to try to dig a little bit deeper into and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can do because the stuff is never gonna die out. It's gonna keep
Right,
getting bigger, and more locations are gonna start popping up. Some will close, but
right.
those are little ones. But I find like the littler places, I think, are a little bit more fun than the big honking huge places.
Right.
Uh, and friends of mine over at Cabin on 360,
Yeah.
they got a wonderful place over there. I haven't been there yet, but it's just like it's a small little two billion location that you can go. And it's cheap enough to go. It's not like thousands of dollars to go. It's like,
Yeah.
was it 350, $400 to go a night to spend there?
That's yeah, that's good.
Those are the locations I like because it's like I feel like you get a lot more done because if
Yes.
you get to like Randolph is huge, right?
Right.
And it takes a while to get through the whole building when you investigate. It takes a couple trips.
Yeah. Yeah, it really, in order for you to dig, like to dive deeper, they have, these special locations where obviously everybody wants to go. And, Randolph is special, like special to me because there's not a time that I've gone there where I haven't gotten stuff. But a
Hmm.
lot of these locations that people are constantly running through too, like, I feel like the activity is less just because there's so much people running through. So I do like these places where they're lesser known and there's not a whole bunch of people that go through there nonstop and everything because I feel like you get better interaction. And so yeah, when you get those big places like that, yeah, it happens. When I hear
Yeah.
these little places where it's like, oh, I've never heard of that place, it's like, yes, that's why I like it. So, you know,
Yeah. I mean, if you're accustomed to go to Illinois and investigate in Illinois, I have a friend of mine. She owns a spot on the Mississippi River.
okay.
Uh, it's in Nauvoo, Illinois. So basically, where it is like there's a bridge which connects on the other side is Iowa and then
Hmm.
Illinois.
Yeah.
So the place is called Cambria House and Farm.
Okay.
That one you need to go to because it's investigating a house and the outside elements.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I love those when I hear of places where people are not, it's not something that has just been run through by so many people. I love those places. I think that's why I like cemeteries because people
Well,
aren't constantly running through cemeteries doing the same thing over and over. Like me being at Ashmore Estates last night. It was like I was trying to think of questions, that the spirits might not have, get all the time. But I'm
mhm.
thinking, man, they had a public investigation Saturday night. They had people there Friday night. The spirits are like, I don't want to deal with these people right now. I just answered these questions that, the last few days, 20 different times. So,
Right.
plus I think the energy runs down. Whereas you go to cemeteries, you go to these lesser known places, like they want to talk to you. They want to get
Hmm.
their voice heard. So I'll have to I'll have to remember that name. And can you send me that and let me know?
Yeah,
Because I'd love to look into that. Yeah.
it's fairly cheap. It's $250 a night. So,
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
yep.
My
And she
God.
also has a school that she does too. It's in town
Oh,
mostly.
okay.
So,
Yeah. I'd love that.
so that's where I'm heading in the end of August. There and the school back to back. So,
Nice. Yeah. Awesome.
um, so which brings up my next point. Do you prefer going to a location just for one night, or if you had the chance to do 2 nights in a row, would you do 2 nights in a row to see the difference between the first night and the second night?
So I definitely would prefer doing the 2 nights. I think that it's another reason why I like going to the same locations over and over because I do believe that you get a connection with spirits and then they can feel more comfortable. They're like, yeah, this person isn't coming in here and, and trying to provoke me, trying to do, whatever. You can kind of get a rapport with them. And so I like I haven't done them, but because obviously we know these places are very expensive and I'm a solo investigator. So, for me to find, I take that back. I did go to a place for an entire week and I was invited with a paranormal team for Christmas, I think. And we did do the whole weekend and got some activity. But other than that, because it's me by myself, I just kind of, trying to do 2 days in a row. Yeah. But I would love it.
It's expensive.
It gets very one night gets expensive, let alone two. But I
Oh
do
yeah.
believe that that's really important, and I've seen that. There's a lot of locations I've been to on more than one occasion, and I'm telling you, like Randolph in Noah's room, that's there. The more I go there, and I've brought him things, and I have excellent evidence from his room, and I
Hmm.
truly believe that when I come back there and I say, "Hey, Noah, do you remember me? And I brought you that balloon." Like, I do believe that I get more interaction because he's like, "Yes, I remember." I mean, it's just like real life. Like, they remember who
Right.
you are. So, yeah, definitely, definitely more than one day in a row if you're able
Yeah.
to do it. Yeah.
Right. Right. I mean, it's so some people it's a little bit harder because some of these locations, like Waverly Hills, $1,500 for 8 hours, or
Right.
Missouri State Penitentiary, $1,500 for 8 hours. It's like you make all that travel to go there, but yet you only get this certain amount of time, and it costs
Right.
you this much. You got to
Yep.
take 10 people with you to do something like that.
Exactly, just to be able to do one night. Like, I think there's a lot of people who don't do this, don't know how expensive it is. It's very
Right.
costly. So yeah, and you
Yeah.
can't, solo investigators, they can't just go to a location, one of these, bigger location, even you get one that's, 350, $400, like you can't do that by yourself. So
No.
yeah, try to throw in, 2 days in a row. It's like, but it's really important. I do believe, even if you can't do that, to go back a
Mhm.
second time to locations at some point.
I do believe that locations, no matter how many times you go back to it, it changes each time you're there because it's not the same. It's different. You get a
Yep.
little bit more information this time. Maybe you won't get so much that time. But I also believe on the first night, they're studying you as much as you were studying them. And then that
Absolutely.
second second night, that's when things start really to blow up a lot more. Um,
Yeah.
but that's how I approach it. Do you want to talk about how you approach your investigations and at these locations, and what's the process you take to doing these locations, and what kind of gear do you like to use mainly?
Oh, so gosh, process. I'm not even really, I guess I will start at a room in a location where I feel like it's kind of calling me, or I feel like more of a connection to. Like that's what I did at Ashmore last night. I was like, yeah, like it's one of the rooms where I feel like I connect better or best with children. And so it
Hmm.
was kind of one of the rooms like that. And well, you were just there, you said, right? Did you say you were just there?
At, at Ashmore?
Ashmore? No.
No, I
Yeah.
haven't been there yet.
I can't think of who it was that just told me. Okay. Anyway, no, there's somebody else that was just there. Just there. Anyway,
Uh-huh.
and one of the rooms, it's where the children, would visit, and it's like, and I always feel connected to there. But if it's not, I'll pick a location where I'm like, yeah, this really feels like this is where I need to start or whatever. But um I have my I have my set of main devices that I use, and those are the ones I use every single time I put in a certain. And the thing is I need to start kind of learning. I'm still at basics with the equipment that I have. I'm
There's
building
nothing
it up.
wrong with that, though.
No, yeah. So it's like I have a small amount of equipment, so those are the ones I use every single time. Now when I start to get, it's hard enough like by myself to set up what I do have. So when I start adding to that, I'm gonna start going, all right, I don't think I'm gonna put this out this time or that out. But right now I have a
Hmm.
small enough amount where I can be like, this is what I use. And I use
Yeah.
it in every location that I go to. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to downsize a little bit what I have too, because it's like I realize, man, I have too much. It's like I don't ever use it all, you know, um, and it's just you just start having one tote here. I had two totes. It's like
I
shit.
know my bag is so full at this point right now. It was funny when the investigators was like, I'm pretty sure, Jackie, that that bag weighs more than you do. Cause I'm like, carrying it around and everything. And I'm like, yeah, this is getting ridiculous. Cause now, and it's not even like filled like with equipment. You're like batteries, cords, all kinds of
Yeah.
flashlights. Like, it's like, you don't know. It's a maybe type of thing. And so, I'm trying to start to like have a smaller bag and be able to leave that bag like wherever the team area is, and then just have a
Hmm.
little bag that I go, because I can't carry that thing around in every single, you go to one room and it's like, yeah, nothing's happening. So you're picking everything up, and it's a lot.
Right, right. I
Yes.
started going to like toolboxes where you can start separating your gear and stuff like that,
Yeah.
instead of having like bags or whatever. But I like to get down into the science part of investigations.
Yeah.
Now, like I like to use plasma balls, Tesla coils, stuff like
Oh, I want
that.
to get a Tesla coil. I do have a
Uh,
plasma ball, but I want to get a Tesla coil.
they're getting cheaper nowadays.
Yeah.
And so, what are your thoughts on the science part of it? More of like the physical part of it. Whereabouts do you go with that? And do you do research before you go to the location, or mostly after the location?
So I kind of changed things up as far as that goes. It used to be I would just kind of go, and then it was neither. It was whatever I was just picking up. That's what I took as my evidence and everything like that. Whereas now, like I'm starting to enjoy the history part of it a lot more, and because of
Hmm.
that, I'm wanting to do the research on the location. You know what I mean? And like, because a lot of people are like, I don't want to know, I don't know, it's going to skew whatever. I mean, technically, it's not if you're not allowing it to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, you have that knowledge or whatever, but but take it as raw data. You know what I mean? Don't fish for it because you get this name that might be linked to this, that might be linked to that. Take that raw data that you're getting, and then you can associate it with that. But I feel like having the knowledge beforehand isn't going to harm you as long as you're not allowing it to. And so I've started to do more research. It's hard to find information on a lot of these locations. I don't know if you've noticed that, but like you can find just a small amount of it. Like Ashmore, I had a hard time just finding what I was able to. And then when we did the
Yeah.
tour, I learned a little bit more, but you can't find the information. And so I'm starting to look a little bit more ahead of time now. As far as like the physical, so what do you mean physical scientific? Like what do you explain in
Well,
further detail?
so the more scientific side of it, like using, like I said, the plasma ball, the Tesla coils, or I like to use a fog machine
Yeah.
and hook it up with lasers to see if I could
Okay.
capture, stuff like that. Kind of like not like the traditional, okay, K2 recorder, camera, dozen rods, REM
Yeah.
pod type
Okay.
deal. That's more
So
standard to me.
I
This
see
other's
what you're
part.
saying. So more like standard compared to doing, what a lot of people don't start with or don't think about doing. To
Right. More
me,
experimental.
yes, and I love that part of it. I think that Tesla coils are excellent to be able to help give energy to the spirits. I like everything that is kind of different. I like things that are, I mean, I can use the standard things and that's great. I've noticed like to me, the cat balls, to me, they're one of the hardest things for spirits to manipulate and make go off
Yeah.
just from what I've been seeing. But you get something basic, like what I like to do is get a balloon and I have these little
Hmm.
light thingies that go inside the balloon. I did it last night, put it inside there so it lights up and you can see, and ask them to move the balloon. Like
Yeah.
that does not take a whole lot of energy to do, and it costs you nothing. Like it costs you nothing to do that. So those are the
Right.
kind of things that I like to experiment with. Just like some call it the Charlie method. There's the two pencils, and you
Hmm.
can do the yes and no and ask them to do that. Like those are things that a lot of people don't use and don't think about, and they're so cheap to do and can be effective. So that's what I like.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, I do the balloon method too. The
Mhm.
ones I usually get are the ones from Walmart where it actually has a built-in light.
Yep. So I
And
used to, except it's so what I did is because they're like $1 a balloon,
hmm
I now have they're little like bullet, like flashlight things that you can turn. And I buy a package of balloons. And when I'm done, I can just return that off, put it in my bag and reuse it. And just, you can get what, 88 cents, you can get a package of balloons and it's
yeah,
costing me nothing. So
right.
yeah, yep. It's
Yeah.
so,
Go ahead.
it's cheap and it can be so effective. I've seen it be effective. So you
Yeah.
don't have to spend tons of money to be able to get interaction from spirits. You just have to be creative on what you
Right.
do.
Right.
And remember that you have people coming through nonstop sitting there and saying, go touch that ball and get it to, touch that ball and it'll light up pretty colors. I've said it a million times over, but like how many, if I'm saying it, every place I go, imagine all the people that are coming through saying the exact same thing. If I was a spirit, I'd be like, man, this is boring. Come on. Can you give me something different?
Yeah.
I mean, so you have to be creative when it comes to this and just think of something that they could manipulate. And I mean, that doesn't cost you a lot. You got to be creative
Yeah.
because yeah, it's great to use some of this standard equipment and everything like that, but there's a lot of things that you can use that can be just as effective.
Yep, I totally agree. I follow that same suit.
Yeah.
And then there's things where I say, "Oh, that's so cool. I'm going to indulge a little bit on that."
Yeah. Oh,
Just
absolutely.
like,
I mean, don't get me wrong, like the tripwires, I don't have one yet, but man, I want one of those so bad. So don't get me wrong, like there's things that, yeah, it's like you see this equipment and you're like, oh, you know what I mean? And that's so cool. And then you don't have to worry about being creative. You're just like the tripwire, you could just put it down and be like, all right, if they step across that, it's gonna light up. But
yeah,
so yeah, you got to have a little bit of mixture, of things. And so, but you don't have to start huge. And then
right.
once you start, then you're constantly like, what do I got to get this now. I mean, I got to get this. Oh, that looks cool, so it happens.
Yeah, I mean, I have this the Tracer 2 from Ghost Stop,
Yeah.
and it's like, man, this thing hardly ever moves. It's like I'm one of those people also that, like, okay, I'll set the fog machine, I'll set the lasers, but I also want to pour some powder on the floor.
Well, right. And that's just the thing too, is it's like, yeah, like there's just, I mean, it's a lot of, and we don't have the answers. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why we're doing this. We don't ever have the answers. So we don't know 100% what's going to work at every location at that exact time that you're there, because it's different all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Locations are not, it's not the same scenario, over and over happening. So you have to get creative, and you can do a little bit of mixture of actual equipment you're buying with, stuff that you come up with, or, like I said, being creative with stuff.
Right. Right. And
And
then what may
with
work for
baby
you may not
powder.
work for me.
Right. And that is very true. Or what works for this spirit might not work for that. I like
Mm-hmm.
truly believe that some spirits are able to manipulate certain equipment better than others. Like it just, I don't know why. I don't know why, but sometimes, like the mag light at one spirit, it might be easy as can be for them to use it, but the next one has no idea what the heck they're doing. But that cat ball that's over there, they know exactly what they're supposed to do. And we don't,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't know like what, we don't know what it is they have to do, don't do, why they can use this, but not use that. We don't have those answers. So you have to kind of like have a mixture of different things. And sometimes I
Right.
think with like spirits at locations where people don't come through a lot, you have to kind of let them know, hey, this is how you do this, do it yourself. Hey, that's not going to hurt you. So.
But that's the thing that I run into is like, how do we know it's not going to hurt them?
Well, we don't 100% know. That's
Yeah.
that's just the thing. Now, I do have to say that I have asked before, is
Mm-hmm.
does I mean, because you can interact, you can ask certain things. Hey, does that hurt you touching it? And I have got a
Mm-hmm.
no before. So does that mean for every single spirit out there? No, but you know what I
Right.
mean? So,
Yeah.
and let's hope not. Let's hope we're not doing something that's harming the spirits by asking them to do it.
Right.
But they
And
also
I
have free will. I mean, we have plenty of spirits that are like, I'm not touching any of that stuff. You know what I mean? They have free will to do it or not do it. We're not forcing them. So if we're not twisting their arm to do it. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So hopefully we're
yes.
not sitting there saying, hey, that's not going to hurt you. Go touch that. And then it actually is. That's all we can hope for. So.
Oh yeah. And then her else are just standing there laughing at us.
I mean, that's possible. There's some of the time I just can't even imagine. Like last night being there, all I kept thinking, because there was a night of there wasn't a lot of stuff happening, and I'm like, they're probably
Yeah.
all just laughing at us right now, sitting here. So
Or
following us.
you show a doll, and I said, just punt the sucker.
You did say that. I'm like, I'm not even repeating that thing. I'm not repeating. And that's actually the room because I went back there right at the end of the night, and I finally did get some activity. But at first, like that room was, I know you're like, I'm like, don't say that. They're probably reading the chat and like, oh, that's nice.
Oh, I should
He
try that once
wants
and see if they are.
he wants me to punt that. Yeah, that's my luck. Is I'll do something like that, and then now I just got this horrible attachment that's followed me home because I punted the doll one time at the place. So
Yeah, that's my thing. That's my shtick. Punt that sucker.
I
I don't like dolls at all.
you don't like dolls, huh? You know,
No.
I used to be that way. I used to just they used to creep me out, and for some reason now I just love them. I don't know what it is, but I just love them. Although
I got stuck in a room. Go ahead.
I haven't gotten a bad experience with them, so that's what I think it is. If I did end up having one, it probably would change my whole the whole ball game with dolls. But right now, I kind of I feel once again I feel like I can relate with the children, and a doll or stuffed animal is an excellent way to do it. So I think that that's kind of why I feel that way.
That's a good way to do it. I mean, it's just I was stuck in a room at Melbourne Manor with like 45 dolls because they all knew I hated dolls. So like, okay, you're gonna sit here for yeah, they wanted me to sit here for an hour.
Yeah,
I go in and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, so I sit in this corner. I couldn't have a flashlight. I only could have a REM pod, and I'm stuck in this door shut. I'm like,
you didn't even
okay,
have
I'll
a
see.
flashlight to look around.
No, I couldn't have one.
That
So
was evil. That was evil.
they gave me a walkie-talkie, and
Yeah,
then I realized I thought I was getting hits, but actually the walkie-talkie was setting off the REM pod,
right.
and then all
Yep.
of a sudden the walkie-talkie didn't work anymore.
And then you're like, now that's gone. Now I'm just stuck
Yeah.
here with the REM pod. You're like, if I feel something touch me, that's it. I'm out of here.
Oh, I was watching these things. I'm like, if you turn your head,
My
one thing is
daughter
'cause-
can't stand dolls for that exact. My daughter hates them too, and she can't. Yeah. But you know what? The thing is, you're in the majority. Most people don't like dolls, so there's the
yeah.
few of us weirdos that actually love them. So yeah,
Oh, it was a trip. Let me tell you. I mean, I saw like they're filming me too. I didn't realize I was being filmed, and so they had like there was a white orb above my head, and it felt like something was above my head. So I'm kind of sitting like looking at this like, what is above my head? Because I felt it, but
yeah,
they saw it. And then to cap it all off, because I know about my disability and my visual disability and stuff, I walk
yeah.
out and here all of a sudden I look at this thing and it's like running at me down the hallway, and here someone's dressed up in a suit, and I'm like, I see you, ha ha.
Oh man. Oh man. But you know what? Those make the moments fun too.
Yeah, yeah,
You have to enjoy what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's not you have to have a little bit of fun in there as well. You know,
absolutely.
there's the time to be serious, and there's the time to make sure that you know that this isn't something that you feel like you're having to work. Like it's still enjoyable. Those
Right.
funny haha moments. So and
Um,
you know, speaking of the haha moments and the funny and the getting scared, you wouldn't believe it, but and I still don't really care for them. But like haunted houses, for Halloween haunted houses, my entire life hated them, scared as can be. I don't want that. And so why I started doing paranormal, and now I'm like, hey, go ahead and jump scare me because I'm gonna laugh. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. This is like opened up a completely different Jackie, because this was not how I used to be 4 years ago. Like I was like I didn't like being scared for nothing. So it's
mhm,
interesting to see how you can like open yourself up with doing this.
absolutely. I'm not a haunted house person either because it's when I get jump scared, the fist comes out. So So,
You know, I was gonna say like they have that fight or flight, and there's one time I realized being in the attic at Randolph Infirmary, someone sneezed, but I
oh,
didn't know it was a sneeze, it didn't sound like it, and we were in the middle of the attic, like completely dark. The attic is huge there, and I thought it
oh
was
yeah.
a noise like all the way down at the other end of the attic. I didn't realize it was a sneeze from the person next to me. The fight or flight, let me tell you, I was almost out of there with like you wouldn't even believe. So there's no fight in me. It was just flight. Like I was almost gone, and I was like, oh my gosh, what? I was about to be out, and then the girl I was like, she just sneezed, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah, I can see that. I know how big that place is. I actually dreamt about being in that place. I've never been there.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
weird.
that's weird. I hear people say
Yeah.
that a lot of times. Oh, I've never been to this place, but I've laugh at me. Yes. Yes, that's how I am too. Like yeah, I got the flight going down, but there's a lot of people say they dream about places that they've never been. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
a whole trying to tell you something in the dream world or what, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting. And that's my co-host, Wayne.
Oh, hi
So
Wayne.
thanks. He's part of one third part of Small Town Paranormal. So
Okay.
it's him, his wife Abby, and then John Wolf. So
All right. Well, nice to meet you.
um, so let's get to the cemetery part of it because when you sorry,
It's all right.
the talk about cemeteries, you do a lot of cemetery walks. Now, how did you get into like doing a lot of that, and then just all of a sudden it's like because I had a fear of cemeteries when I was younger,
Yeah.
and as I got into this stuff now, it's like it doesn't bother me anymore, except for a viewing. It still bothers me yet.
Yeah.
But what is your thoughts about investigating cemeteries? And do you feel because I feel not everyone is haunted,
Yeah.
but you feel that you go to that some are and some are just fun to be at.
So I do have to say that I mean, if, in my personal opinion, every place is haunted.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like every place is active. I shouldn't say haunted. Every place is active. So I believe that, in my opinion, I believe every cemetery is active. It's just a matter of what you're going to catch while you're there. But
Mm-hmm.
do I believe some are more active or you're more inclined to get something while you're there? Yes. There's certain ones that I've gone to where I've every single time I go, I get great activity. There's some I go to where I think they're absolutely beautiful, but I know there's probably a good chance I'm not going to get anything while I'm there. But
Mm-hmm.
I love cemeteries. They're very peaceful for me. There's not a bit of me that feels creeped out when I'm inside of them. Now, because I'm a solo investigator female, I don't go at night in cemeteries by myself. But even
Mm-hmm.
if I go with people and I'm at night, like I don't feel scared of them. They're just very peaceful to me. Um, I don't feel like there's any spirits that are really trying to, creep you out while you're there. It just, there's something very peaceful, and I've never really found them as something to be scary. I don't know. There's just I feel a lot of peace in some of them, especially here in my area. Like we have a lot of pioneer cemeteries, and to go there and just like I said before, like the history part of things, I used to hate it when I was younger, and now like I love seeing old headstones and knowing that, hey, this was, this was somebody that in the 1700s was alive in this very, area. So
Mm-hmm.
it's that part of it is amazing to me. I just don't, but some are, it doesn't mean they're not active. It just, they might not be active with interactions with humans. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
yeah.
Does it
That's why I
depend?
don't like, I'll have some people that'll watch my live or they'll, whatever, and they'll be like, well, that's just silly. Why are you going to think that as a spirit is, at their gravesite? Why would they be there or whatever? Well, we don't know if they're there all the time. We don't know if
Hmm.
they're there and they're there. We don't know if there's energy at every single place that meant like something to them. We don't know. So you have to like keep that in mind. Like and there's a lot of people that say it's disrespectful. To me, I don't think that going to a cemetery and trying to have interaction with the spirit is disrespectful. You're number one, not telling them that they have to speak to you. And number two, if they want to, they might not have people that come and visit them. They might not have people that come and, try to speak to them. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I don't see that there's anything disrespectful about it. But,
Well, they have a story to tell you, though, too. That's what,
yeah,
every
absolutely.
location we go to locations to look for a story, what they want to share with us. Why not go to a cemetery and look for a story, what they want to share? I mean,
Absolutely.
it all depends on where you're going to find them. Like you said, they have free roam. They can come and go as they please. And if they're going to be there, they're going to be there. If they're not, then we move on. But that's just how it all goes.
Right.
Um, Now, does a religion make a difference when you go to a cemetery, if it's like a Catholic cemetery or like a Lutheran cemetery type deal? Does that matter or pertain to anything different as you
No.
investigate it? Okay.
No, and a lot of it is that I'm very like my spiritual beliefs is very unconventional from a lot of people. I've learned a new term with it and with religion that I didn't know existed, but there's a lot like mine is like there's truth to be told of every religion out there.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the way that I follow it. So if it's a certain type of cemetery, it doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? They're all spirits that want to be heard no matter what the religion was or where they were buried or anything like that. So that's usually something that I completely um I put in the background because like my spiritual beliefs is it's being spiritual, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And in the afterlife that probably doesn't matter as much anymore either. You know what I mean? They're spirits and they're going to want to speak to you no matter what their religion was. So, yeah.
So, do you use like a language translator type deal? Like when you talk and then you hold up your phone and it speaks in different language, depending on what like headstone you get to, that see they're a different nationality, a different race. Do you ever try to do that once and see if you could get like a different language in return in an EVP?
No. And so, okay. So when I go to cemeteries, I typically don't try to do EVPs at all because
Okay.
I'm going to cemeteries during the day. There's going to be a lot of traffic. You're going to get a lot of birds. You're going to get a lot of this. So when I go to
Hmm.
cemeteries, I won't do EVPs at all. I'll use a spirit box. And
Yep.
that's typically, I'll walk around with the spirit box and everything like that. But EVPs, the only time I'm going to use them is if I go to a location and I know that there's not going to be any type of, I'm not going to have to worry about picking up something that wouldn't actually be a spirit. So EVPs are I love them, but
Hmm.
they're very, very tricky. And
Yep.
so a lot of the times too, like I like being live as well because you're getting everything recorded when you're live. And I can't tell
Yep.
you how many times I've picked up disembodied voices that nobody heard with their ears until I go back and I actually listen to the live. And so
Yep.
I get a lot of good EVPs that way. Even at cemeteries, being live there and just walking around and being able to, or random locations. I went to a random location that I didn't think I'd get anything, and I got a disembodied voice while I was live. So
Wow.
that's the way I do it.
Well, but it's good practice though, and for those who are listening or watching, that they might take up on your advice on doing that when they go to cemeteries. So
Yep.
it's all good advice. Um, so let's get into your bucket list. What do you have for a bucket list? Top five, I should go.
Top 5 locations.
Just a
Um,
bucket list of wherever you want to go.
well, Alcatraz is absolute. Even though I can't investigate there, that's my top. That's my dream. Like it's been on my bucket list for a very long time. It's
Mine
not
too.
even. Yes, it's not even just. I mean, yes, I'd love like to have some type of spiritual or spirit interaction, but just the history behind that. And I'm
Mhm.
a criminal justice buff, and like I would love to go there someday. So that's absolutely at the top. Um, I definitely want to do Waverly. Even though it's one of those really, really popular spots, um, there's nobody that's gone there where they were like, yeah, we weren't getting nothing. Like it's always been super active there. So
Mhm.
that's another one. And honestly, I don't know because I just could consistently like add places that I want to go to. I mean, there's such a laundry list of places to go to that I don't know if I could pick other ones, to be honest. Those are two. I mean, like I said, Waverly, I live close enough. I know someday I'm gonna be able to go there. But Alcatraz, man, I'm just like I keep telling myself, Jackie, just go book. Just go book a vacation. Just go and get it done. And and then it's like, yeah, life kind of hits you and you're like, okay, now we gotta be practical. I guess you gotta be an
Yeah.
adult. So someday though, it's gonna happen. It's been on my bucket list for many, many years.
Well, you should definitely try a few locations in Iowa. Melbourne Manor is a good one to go to, which would probably
I've
be a
heard
long
that.
haul for you.
Yep.
Edinburgh Manor.
It's another one
Need.
I've heard. Yep.
Yep.
Trans-Allegheny. I love to
Oh.
go to Trans-Allegheny. Oh my gosh, that's another one. Phew, I know. I know. Very
Eighteen
expensive.
hundred a night. I know that.
No, very, very expensive. And then obviously
Yeah.
Gettysburg. I'd love to go to Gettysburg.
Gettysburg.
I
Yep.
mean, the experience alone would be amazing with that. But yeah, obviously there's so many just really popular spots that would be awesome to go to. But I don't
Yeah.
think trying to put it in a list of 5 of them and trying to be like, yep, these are gonna go in my top 5. But then you're like, wait, what about this one here? That's a really good one too. And you know,
Well, I'll
you'll
ask you
never
that in
catch
5 years
up.
and see where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, you're never gonna really catch up on. You're always gonna end up adding to the list, no matter how many you get through. So,
Right. Right. Um, Hoaxes. Do you believe that Amityville house is haunted or a hoax?
once again, it brings me to the whole. I think I so haunted and active, two different things. Amityville, sure, I believe it is. You want to give me on hoaxes or something like that? Let's hope I'm not gonna bring bad luck on myself here. Annabelle doll, I think it's way overrated. I really think, I mean, you want to look at like we preach evidence, evidence, evidence. Yes, we have that. Lorraine said, never take her out
Mhm.
of the box and do all this, which obviously we don't even follow because they've been doing that. But it it
Yeah.
it brings you to we preach evidence, but then where is this evidence of what happened during this time, what she talks about? You know what I mean? So I think that I think when it comes to a lot of things, they become very um, embellished. I guess we could say they embellish a lot of things with it. There's a lot of I had the talk last night about the Ouija board. And,
Mhm.
and there's so many people that are like, oh, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch it. No, no, no. And the thing is, and I don't use it just because I'm, I trust myself And so,
Hmm.
number one, I can trust myself that I'm not moving it. I can't, put 100% trust in anybody else. Never mind the fact that we're then putting our trust in intentions with other people, and I don't want to do that. Whereas if I'm using like a spirit box, this is my intentions, you know what I mean? This is what I'm putting through with it. But when it comes down to it, you're using a spirit box, and then a Ouija board is just another form of communication. So I
Same
think,
thing with recorder and
right.
assist method.
It's all ways of opening yourself up to communicating with spirits. But then, they made these movies, and they said all these things about the Ouija board, and then it just became, where it was like, oh, it became a really bad thing. And I think people are really scared of it because of that. And I'm not scared of it. I just, like, I have my reasons for not using it because of my trust in myself and my trust of my intentions compared to trusting other people with the same type of intentions. So, yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
But yeah,
Another thing.
hoaxes and all that other stuff, I think, like, it takes no time for it to just blow up into a
Hmm.
lot more than it really was meant to be. Yeah.
Yeah, because I knew where that was going to go as soon as uh, that guy passed away. Um,
Oh yeah.
Being
Oh
around the
yeah.
doll and stuff, I
I mean,
knew that was going.
they found everything. Even before then, it was, oh, did you notice this natural disaster happened or this happened? And she was over by here and this and that. And, my big thing is, it, if like they were told not to move her, what are you doing in the first place?
Yeah.
Even if this wasn't like, no matter the circumstances, if it did actually this cause that or whatever, y'all didn't follow what you were told. Like, you were told not to move her, and you did. So,
Yeah.
you know whether or not it's a big hoax or it's whatever, you didn't follow directions. I mean, we were taught how young, that you're supposed to follow directions, and you didn't. So if she did do that stuff, I mean, really, who's to blame here? So,
Yeah. But it's also the same thing about how we talk about divot boxes, and if you travel with a divot box everywhere, you
right.
know,
Yeah.
you're not
Now that
supposed
is
to open
something
it.
I tell you, I won't even, don't even put it by me. I don't, I don't want that bad energy even by me. Just don't even put it by me. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a whole different thing. It's like, I don't even, sometimes I think people think I've had one person sit there and say, oh, well, my trust in God or my faith, God is more powerful than whatever. I'm like, man, you're messing with fire. You're
Hmm.
messing with fire, sitting and
Yes,
thinking
you
something like
are.
that. That's great that you have faith, in your religion, and you have faith in God and stuff like that. But man, that's one of those things still you don't know 100% on any of that, any of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, why I'm
Yeah.
not, why am I going to mess with that and take that chance? Nah, I'm good.
Yep. Pass.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those things. It's like, no, I find absolutely no need whatsoever to even mess with it remotely. So,
He can stay behind the glass.
yeah.
Portals. What are your thoughts and feelings about portals? I'm on the fence with them. That's just how I feel about it. It's a tough subject, I believe,
Mhm. It,
but
it really is. And like the thing, you know, we talk about spirits being able to travel, like travel no matter what, if spirit travel in here or go to where or whatever. If they're able to do that, then what's the different, you know what I mean? Like, where are we separating a portal compared to a spirit being able to travel wherever they want anyway? I don't
mhm,
I don't see how you can separate the two of them. You're basically saying the exact same thing, a portal being able to bring spirits to that location or whatever it might be, but we're also sitting there and saying spirits can travel however they want to travel or be in multiple locations. Well, then where's the separation between the two? You know what I mean? How do you separate having a portal compared to spirits being able to just travel wherever they want? So to
Yeah.
me, now I'm going to practice, don't get me wrong, I'm going to practice on not having a portal and put two mirrors facing each other type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not
right.
going to take that chance on it, but because we don't know, again, we don't know, but when you sit there and you say something about spirits being able to travel from here to there, then what is the portal for? You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing. So I don't know. Portals don't make sense to me. I just don't. However,
I want to step into
Randolph
one and see what it's like.
Randolph Infirmary, they have a mirror room there, and I will not go in it. I have gone into Whispers Estate. I've done Estes inside of their mirror room. Like, but Randolph Infirmary, there's something I feel it before I won't even walk into that room. So, but if that's
Hmm.
a portal to what? You know what I mean? I don't know, and I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Once again, I draw the line there. It's like, nope. Spirits might be able to travel, but I don't know what that is a portal to, and I don't want to know. I'm not messing with that.
I always often wonder if, like, on their side, is it like duplicating what our side is, but upside down
Yeah,
in a way?
I don't know. I mean, we don't know what we're communicating with, what, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have the answer. And then some people are like, oh, do you think someday we'll have it all figured out? We will never, because there's
No.
no way we can. We can take the knowledge that we have and say, okay, well, this can work. You know what I mean? This might work,
Mhm.
whatever, but we'll never remotely have the answers until we pass ourselves.
Right. Right. I
And
totally get that.
that's what makes this so interesting and just intriguing is, we keep reaching and learning things, and it's just amazing to learn it, but there's always going to be room to learn more.
Absolutely. Once you stop learning, you might as well just get out of it.
That's right. And
That's the
you're
way I
never going
look
to
at it.
stop learning on this.
Nope. Because something else new will come. It's like electronics. I tell people every 6 months, new electronics come out. Every 6 months, a new location will come out, or something else comes out with a new
Hmm.
experiment. You
Right,
know.
right, exactly. Or you might have accidentally come up with something that worked, and then you're like, oh, look, you know what I mean? I mean, that's how all of
Hmm.
these things have come about. It's been somebody saying, oh, I wonder if I could do this. And then it turns out to be something that can work. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I've learned with Wayne and those guys that I dress up for locations and try to get spirit that way, and it's worked so far.
yeah,
Um, but it's like that those are the triggers that we use to try and have something happen. And
right,
since walk into somebody's house, like, hey, okay, I demand to see you right now, right in front of me. It's
right.
like, okay, not gonna happen.
No,
I mean,
on
we're
the
on the
same.
clock. They are not.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And that's, when we went to Ashmore last night, there wasn't a lot that happened, but we all could agree, that happens sometimes. You don't know. And I always say it doesn't mean the place isn't active. It's just not active right now. So,
Right.
but they're on their own time. They do what they want, when they want, what they have energy for, and we're just players in the game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Last question. What is your biggest fear of the paranormal?
Biggest fear. Oh man. So I I don't have a lot of fears when it comes to it. But my biggest thing is like the surprise aspect of it. Like you don't know what it's exciting that you don't know what's going to happen, but when you're in a room by yourself with just your devices and there's nobody that's close to you or whatever, and not, you don't know what's going to happen. And so because of that unknown, and it could be something as much as getting scratched by a spirit, or it could be lighthearted, it could be whatever, that unknown of, putting yourself in what could potentially be something dangerous and not knowing what's going to happen, um,
Mm-hmm.
that can be a little unnerving. So that does kind of, but I feel a lot more confident if I'm in that same room and there's another person with me. It's like, all right,
Right.
yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it's like that person's there. Even like if I'm, and it's the funniest thing when I'm live, like if I'm live and I'm at a haunted location and I'm by myself, like it still feels like that 30 people, they're with me. So like I'm okay to be in this room by myself. They can't do anything to help me, but I'm not there by myself. But when you're there and you're putting your trust and your faith that you're not going to get harmed by a spirit, and knowing that it is possible that it could happen, it's a little bit unnerving.
I get
So
that.
yeah,
I totally get that.
and it's just things
Um,
that you don't know, and so anything, the possibilities are endless on what could happen, and that is a little scary.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, what do you got coming up next, and how can people get a hold of you?
I have a public investigation at Randolph Infirmary August 2nd. And then on August 17th, I go to Whispers Estate. And if people want to get a hold of me, they can find me on TikTok at Hoosier Paranormal. And also, I've been trying to build it up on Facebook, again, Hoosier Paranormal. I do have a YouTube. I'm really bad about posting on there. So, the way to go is definitely Facebook or TikTok. But yeah.
Yeah. One thing you could do is like on StreamYard here, like I do it.
Mhm.
You can go live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, so you can
Somebody
do
was just
that.
telling me about that yesterday. Somebody was telling me that there was something that I could do where I could go and do both of them at the same time. I feel like
Yep.
one of the guys from the group that I was with said that he was trying to figure out that there's something you can do.
Yep. There's a loophole, so you
Yeah,
can do
that's
that.
what I need, because I mean, some people have 20 different devices where they can do the YouTube and do the Facebook and then have their device to use for their an app, and yeah, not me.
Yeah, I don't
I have
either.
my two phones and it's already like that's the like most minimal of the things that you got to carry around when you're going here to here
Oh
to here.
yeah,
So yeah, the less you
absolutely.
have to
Or
put in your
carry it on
hands
your
to
head.
carry. I know, right? Right? I mean, gosh, it's, yeah. And then as soon as you're like, well, there's not a whole lot happening here, time to pick up these 20 things I just put down 15 minutes ago and move it over. So, yeah. And the
Right,
spirits are
right.
probably laughing the entire time too. Look at this girl. She thinks she's going to go over there and she's going to get stuff.
One last piece of information. So, do you know who Tori Westhoff is?
Tori is, no, maybe.
Okay.
Tell me, who
So,
it is.
if you go to Sleeper Mortuary, that's
Yes,
in
Tori.
Kansas.
Yes, that's who I thought you were
Yes.
talking about. Yes, yes, I know who
Yes,
she
Tori.
is.
Okay, so she's got books of locations that help with the investigators that have like this is Edinburgh or this is
Hmm.
so and so location. She has those. She's made those up. Contact
Yes.
her. There might be one for Ashmore. I believe there's one for Ashmore,
Oh,
and there
that'd
might
be
be one for
amazing.
Randolph as well. So
Okay.
definitely contact her. I
Yeah,
think
I
that would
have.
help
Yeah,
her a
I'm
lot.
friends with her on TikTok. So yeah, she has. Ashmore is, like I said, we didn't get a whole lot, but I know there's something. I know there's a whole story to find out from that place. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I could feel the sadness in it and what they had to go through, and they deserved a whole lot more than the cards they were dealt there. So
Right.
yeah.
So, with that, we'll call it a show because we are approaching quarter after 11 here, and it's quarter after 9 here, almost 11 by you.
Well, quarter after 10 here, yeah.
Yeah. So, and we're both tired because we've
Oh
had
my gosh,
long
I'm
days.
exhausted. My bed is like, okay, time. You didn't spend a whole lot of time here. Are you ready to go to sleep now? Yeah, I'm exhausted. Yeah.
So
Well, I
for
appreciate
Hoosier,
you having me on here. It was absolutely amazing. I really do
absolutely,
appreciate it.
I'll definitely have you back on. Talk about different locations, or if you got a topic. I know on the 28th we'll be talking about women in the paranormal.
Oh, I
That
love
will
that.
be.
I
Yep,
love
we'll be
that.
talking that on Monday, next Monday.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that. And then for Hoosier Paranormal, I'm Darren. You have been watching BB3 TV and Paranormal Brew. You can also catch us on the YouTube channel as MGS Paranormal 4258 if you'd like to go there as well. So here we are with another podcast coming to an end. Thank you all for joining us, and I will see you soon. So long, everybody.